Hi there, friends. Welcome to this gentle class for your low back. For this class, grab a couple of blocks, a blanket, and then if you have a yoga bolster, you can use that, or if you have like a pillow or cushion or something big and soft, grab that as well. As always, this is your body, your practice. If something that I'm doing doesn't feel right, by all means take something different that you know feels good, or a resting pose. We will be using all of these props and moving a little bit slower, just doing some stretches for that area of the low back that sometimes can give us a little bit of trouble. So we will get started in a supported child's pose. So for this, use that big cushion, bolster, pillow, whatever you've got, and we'll use that underneath our chest. You can bring your knees wide, big toes towards one another, and if you'd like to add a little layer between your heels and the back of your thighs, you can slide a rolled up blanket there, just kind of in that, I kind of call it the heel pocket, something to just press your hips back into. If that would feel good, you can skip the blanket if you want. And then we'll fold forward over this pillow or bolster. You can rest one cheek down and just stay here. Close down your eyes. Start with a few deep, even breaths as we move into this practice. Fill your lungs in all directions. Maybe feel your chest expand into that prop we're using. Feel your back rise. And the sides reach in both directions on your inhale. Our theme for this short flow today will just be, I am gentle. A little mantra for this movement, this area that sometimes can be sore, can be tight. Just moving with ease in a gentle way to help stretch and open up and really just give some loving attention to that spot. Final breath. Can gently open your eyes. We'll lift our head up. Slide that prop out of the way. If you've got that blanket, we'll remove that as well off to the side. And we'll come up to hands and knees. So you can bring your wrists under your shoulders, your knees under your hips. If having your knees on the mat is causing pressure, you can always slide that blanket underneath there for a little bit of added cushion. On your inhale, let's drop our belly, lift the sit bones, take a gentle cow. Not going too far. I am gentle, starting with our theme here. And then on your exhale, slowly round the spine, tuck your pelvis slightly, tuck your chin, take a cat. These are going to be super gentle cat-cows, moving very slowly and not going into that full range of motion right off the bat. Each time, maybe take it just a little bit further. Feeling what area of your body is contracting and what area is opening up. Move with your breath, exhaling for these cats and inhaling for the cows. Wherever you are, finish up that round. We'll come right back to center into that cat-cow. And then we'll lower down onto our belly. So you can walk your hands forward and just slowly lower down on to your belly, however you would like to get there. And we'll take a half frog. So you can fold your forearms like a crocodile and rest your forehead down on the top of your forearm or palm. And then we'll start with the left side. We'll take the left leg out to the side with a bent knee. So we've got a 90-degree bend in the hip, the knee, and the ankle here. The inside of the left foot is on the floor. You can just rest the forehead down. Feel some opening there through that left hip. Sometimes when our low back is tight, our hips are tight too. All of that area is so connected with so many muscles wrapping across that really, that whole area can be tight and you can only be feeling it in one particular spot. Continue breathing. We'll lift up slightly. You can lift your head, lift up through the chest, and just thread your right arm underneath your left. We'll roll over onto our back. If you've got props, you'll want to scoot them out of the way and take a supine twist. So we've still got that left leg reaching out where it was. This time we've just rolled onto our back. So we're working to get the left shoulder blade down. You can gaze up towards the ceiling. If it feels good, you could gaze towards the left. Feel that stretch, maybe going up the outside of that left hip into that lower back area. Remember to take those deep, full, even breaths. These are great ones to do before bed, just these supine twists. You can get into your hips and your low back. You can do them in your bed, so squeeze those in before bedtime. We'll roll right back over the way that we came, back onto our belly. Extend your left leg long and then bring the right knee out to the side. We'll take our half frog on the other side. So right knee is out to the side. Can switch the stack of your forearms. Rest your head back down. Take some deep breaths. Notice where you may be clenching or holding on to tension. See if you can take your breath to that area, not physically, but mentally, and try to let it release. Let that area go. Take one more breath here in this half frog. And then we'll lift up the head, can lift the chest slightly, thread the left arm underneath, roll onto your left side and then onto your back for spinal twist here on the other side. Can have your left hand on the outside of that knee if that feels good, or even just reach your arms out to the sides. Any little arm variation that feels good. Take what is calling to you. 2 more breaths here in this twist. Having that awareness in the outer right hip into the right side of the low back. Picture those areas releasing. Tension just melting away. We'll roll back onto our bellies. Extend that right leg long, and then bring your hands out to your sides, wider than your mat, and forward slightly. And we'll come onto tented fingertips. Our feet will reach long. Press the tops of your toes into the mat. Squeeze your glutes, and we'll press up into some serpent cobra. So press down through those fingertips. Elbows are high. Work to lift the chest. Keep engaging the back body, squeezing those glutes, pressing the tops of your feet into the mat. And we'll just inhale it up, exhale it down. You can keep these as high or as low as feels good for you today. Remember that I am gentle. Listening to the sensations that your body gives you, and choosing to go only as far as would feel good. Do one more. We'll lower back down. Bring your hands underneath your shoulders. Press up onto your hands and knees. Widen those knees again. Big toes touch. Press back for a child's pose. This time we'll do it without our props. You can rest your forehead down on the mat. 2 deep breaths. Final inhale and exhale here. Next inhale, we'll lift back up towards hands and knees. Curl your toes underneath, walk your hands forward slightly, lift your hips up into a downward facing dog. Keep bent knees and keep those heels lifted. Reach your sit bones up towards the sky. Press down through your palms and push the mat away. Stay active through the arms. Release your head and neck. You could even shake it yes and no. And then we'll tiptoe all the way to the front of the mat. So you can keep bent knees. Arrive at the top of the mat with your feet hips distance apart. Have that bend in the knees and just melt this torso over your thighs. So chest can even be touching the thighs. Grab opposite elbows. Super bent knee ragdoll here. Your knees can be super bent. Rock side to side. And then release those hands. Roll it up to stand 1 vertebrae at a time, stacking your spine. Have your head be the last to arrive. Once you arrive here at the top, ground down through all the corners of your feet. Bring that energy up through your legs, through your torso, all the way up through the crown of your head. Take a breath in and out. We'll roll up and down a few times here. So on an exhale, tuck your chin, roll it right back down the way that you came. And we'll bend the knees again and let the chest rest on those thighs. Your arms can hang or grab opposite elbows. Take a breath and roll it right back up the way we came. Picture each disc of your spine stacking on top of one another until your head arrives last at the top. Roll it down and up one more time. Rolling it down. Hinging here at the hip, bending those knees, resting the chest on the thighs. Roll it back up. Stack the spine. Arrive here at the top. We'll roll it back down. This time we'll come into a half lift. So hands can come down on your blocks or the mat. And then we'll get length through the spine. Your knees can still be bent. Reach your sit bones behind you. Crown of your head forward. Get some length. And then we'll step this left foot back slightly and come down into a low lunge. So we're on the left knee. Can keep those blocks underneath your hands. Shift your hips forward slightly. Slide the blanket under that back knee if you want a little bit more support. Hands can stay on blocks, the thigh. We'll work to squeeze this left glute. Open the front of the left hip. And then on your exhale, shift your hips back, straighten your right leg, come onto your right heel and point your right toes up towards the ceiling. Fold forward over that right leg. Little hamstring stretch here in our half split. Everything is connected in our body. We've got the low back going into the hips. The hamstring connects all in there. It is just, it's like if one area is tight, it's probably a good idea to stretch and strengthen the other areas. Strengthening is so important. We'll come back forward for that low lunge and we'll take a twist. So your left hand can stay on the block, any height, or the mat. Open your right arm up. Squeeze your inner thighs in towards one another. Reach your right hand up. Press down through that left hand into the mat or the block. And then right hand will come down. We'll slide our right knee back next to our left and we'll stretch it back into a child's pose again. So widen your knees, big toes touch. Press those hips back towards the heels. And then once we're in our child's pose, we'll reach to each side. So we'll first walk our hands over towards the right side of the mat and then press those hips back. Press the left hip back specifically towards the left heel. Gain some length going up the left side of your lower back. Few deep breaths here. Come back to those full 360-degree breaths, filling the lungs in all directions here. Next, inhale, press down through the hands, lift up the chest, walk the hands over towards the left side of the mat. And then as you lower your chest, press that right hip back towards the right heel. Feel the length going up the right side. And breathe. Take one more breath. Next, inhale, press down through the hands. We'll reach them forward, come back up onto hands and knees. We'll curl those toes, lift the hips back up into our bent leg, downward facing dog. You can walk out your heels. Any little wiggles here that would feel good. And then tiptoe those feet back towards the front of the mat. Land with them hips distance apart again. Keep the bent knees. That's going to be the theme today, bent knees. We'll roll it up to stand just like we did before, stacking the spine. And then roll it right back down. We'll come for that half lift right away. Roll it all back down. Grab those blocks if you used them last time. Press the hands into the blocks. Reach the crown of your head forward. Get some length in your spine. And then step that right foot back. Come onto the right knee. Anjaneyasana, low lunge. Slide a blanket under that knee if you need a little more support. Shift those hips forward. Squeeze the right glute. Keep your sternum reaching forward. Try not to hunch over the leg, up through the chest. Still relax through the shoulders. It's a reminder I always have to give myself. Shoulders don't need to be up in my ears. Try to keep them relaxed. Next, exhale, let's shift those hips back. Take your Ardha Hanumanasana half split. Point the left toes up towards the ceiling. Fold forward over the left leg. And you guessed it, just breathe. Next inhale, we'll come back forward. We'll take the twist in our low lunge Anjaneyasana. Hand can be on mat or block. Open that left arm up. Press down through the right hand. Revolve your chest towards the left. Exhale, bring that left hand down. We'll slide our left knee back by the right, widen them. One more little child's pose. If you would like to tent your fingertips, come up onto the fingertips. Lower the chest down towards the mat. We'll stay here for one full breath. Next inhale, start to walk the hands back towards the knees. Rise up through the chest into a kneeling position. And then we will just cross your ankles and come onto your seat. So however is comfortable to get there for you. You can reach your legs long. If you'd like to have a blanket underneath your sit bones, that can feel nice. Just take your blanket with a fold, and you'll have it with a couple of inches in front of your sit bones, but give you a little bit of support. That can get your hips a little bit higher and take out some of that tension that might be happening there in your hips. We'll take a Marichiyasana. I'm going to scoot mine off to the side. You can keep your blanket if you'd like. Marichiyasana first. So we'll bend the left knee, come onto the left sole of the foot. Reach your left arm up super tall, ground down through your sit bones, get length all the way up through your spine, and then rotate through your chest towards the left. You can place your left hand behind you and hug that left knee in with the right arm. Keep this right leg active. Each inhale, grow taller through your spine. Each exhale, twist maybe just a little bit further. Couple of breaths here in our twist. Remembering I am gentle. Sometimes we have a tendency to use our arms in these poses to help kind of crank our chest into a deeper twist. Have that twist come from the strength in your obliques as opposed to your arms moving your torso. Next inhale, we'll come back to center. Open that left knee out to the side and bring the left sole of the foot on the inside of that right leg. We have our legs set up for Janu Sirsasana. We'll take the right hand on the inside of that right leg, and then we'll open this left arm up and overhead into a side bend, into our revolved Janu Sirsasana. Now our goal here is not to reach the toes with this top arm. It's more so to open the chest, gain length. You're probably feeling it going up the left side of the low back. This is a great stretch for your QLs. Continue to breathe. Next inhale, we'll come back up to center. You can face forward. Extend your left leg long, bend the right knee, come onto the right sole of the foot, and we'll take our Marichiyasana on this side. Right arm reaches long on the inhale. Exhale, use those obliques to help you twist. Lead with your sternum. Hug the right knee in with the left arm. You can be on your right fingertips behind you. Check in with the left leg. Make sure that it's still active and not drooping. Gaze can be back over that right shoulder. Continue to twist, continue to breathe. I am gentle. Next inhale, come back towards center. Open your right knee out to the side. Bring the right sole of the foot on the inside of that left leg, and we'll go for our revolved Janu Sirsasana. Left hand comes to the inside of that left leg. Sweep your right arm back behind you all the way up overhead into your side bend. Open your chest up towards the ceiling. That might mean that this right hand comes up a little bit higher, and that is all good. Keep breathing. Final breath here. Next inhale, we'll rise it back up, turn to face forward, extend both legs long, and then we can scoot our seat towards the middle of the mat if you're not there already. And then we'll lower down onto our backs. Have your blanket handy by your side, just for the end of class. So maybe you don't have to sit back up to get it. We'll roll it all the way down onto our backs, and we'll take some gentle bridge lifts. So bring your heels, I like to do about a hand's distance from my hips. Our legs are hips distance apart and parallel. Place your hands down, palms facing down on the mat next to you. Press down through your heels. Tuck your pelvis. Inhale, start to lift your hips off of the mat. Slowly lift it up, kind of like we're accentuating each vertebrae in our rolls down and up. We're going to be rolling up just like one vertebrae at a time, and then exhale, roll it back down. I like the visual in these bridge rolls up and down. You can keep going, inhaling it up and exhaling it down. I like the visualization of a string of pearls, like your spine. We're just setting one down at a time. And then as we lift up on our inhale, we're lifting up one at a time. Keeping it gentle, very active here through the glutes, through the hamstrings as we press down through our heels. Part of relieving stress or pressure or pain or tightness in the low back involves strengthening that area around the low back, which the glutes are super important. Exhale it back down. Let's take a reclined figure four. So keep your feet right where they are. Cross the right ankle over that left knee, right above the knee on the thigh there. Keep a flex in your right foot and then resist that right knee out and away from you. If you're feeling this stretch here, you can stay. If you'd like a little bit more, you could hug that left leg in towards the chest and grab either behind the thigh or the front of the shin. And then continue that resistance of the right knee away. Can maybe roll out the left ankle. Just a little something to do in this one. I like to multitask. Final breath here. We'll place the left foot back down. Two options here. You could either cross the right leg all the way over the left and then drop your knees over towards the left, come onto the outer left hip into a spinal twist. If this is feeling too intense in the left or the right outer hip, the lower back on the right side, just uncross your legs and stack your knees. So choose whatever is calling to you there for your little spinal twist here. Remembering to breathe, working to get our right shoulder blade closer towards the mat. Next inhale, we'll rise back up to center, uncross those legs, come back to that kind of bridge setup, and then we'll cross the left ankle over above the right knee. Same thing here, resist the left knee out and away, flex on the left foot, stay here and breathe, or work to hug that right knee in towards the chest. Maybe noticing a difference between two sides. If you want to add in that right ankle rollout, you can. And then we'll lower that right foot back down. Take the cross or just stack the knees as you drop the knees over towards the right. And I always, you can probably see that, have to kind of hike up to come onto my outer right hip. We want to have stacked hips in our supine twist here. Remember to breathe. Maybe repeat, I am gentle to yourself. This is something we can even take off the mat today. Being gentle with our words, our actions, our thoughts. Next inhale, let's come back up to center, uncross those legs, and we'll take a supported Shavasana today. So have your blanket handy. This one can feel really nice if you're having any issues with your low back. Sometimes extending legs out straight can cause some tension here in the lower lumbar spine. So for Shavasana, this is always an option. You can slide your blanket that's rolled up underneath your knees, and that's not going to work. I was hoping we wouldn't have to sit back up, but you may have to sit back up to roll it up. And it can be rolled up super thin. If you'd like to have it a little bit thicker, you can. You could even use that cushion or bolster underneath your knees. So we'll roll back down. Sorry, we had to get back up. It's hard with the blanket. Can't just slide it underneath. So we'll have that underneath our bent knees. Legs are splaying out to the side. Lift up your chest, tuck your shoulder blades underneath, and then reach your arms out to the sides. Palms face up. Relax all the way up through your neck, your jaw, your face. I am gentle. Scan your entire body and give a little bit of gentle love to each area, allowing it to release, to find comfort. Start down on your feet, releasing your toes, the arches of your feet, your heels, your ankles. Find a gentle relaxation going up through your calves, your shins, your knees. Feel the heaviness as the backs of the knees sink into your blanket or prop. Release up through those thighs, into the hips. Relax your pelvis and your low belly. Continue the softness up through your torso, your rib cage, your sternum. Widen the collarbones. Expand that gentle feeling into your shoulders as they sink back down towards the mat. Relax down through your arms, into your wrists, the palms of your hands, through each single fingertip. Release through your neck and your jaw. And bring a softness to your cheeks, your eyes, your forehead. All the way up through the top of your head. I am gentle. As we move through our week, be gentle with your words, be gentle with your thoughts, be gentle with your actions, and be gentle with yourself. You can stay here in your Shavasana for as long as you would like. Thank you so much for joining me.